Okay, so good day. I'm John Carlo Valentos, or Engineer John Carlo Valentos. You can call me JC for short. So, I'm a licensed civil engineer here in the Philippines. Okay, so Taglish tayo, Taglish ano. So, huwag kayong kabahan. So, introduction to structural analysis to yung di-discuss natin tonight. I mean, this day. Okay, so gabi ko kasi ginagawa kaya nasabi kong tonight. Okay, so discuss lang natin kung gaano kahalaga itong structural analysis. Okay, as a civil engineer or as a structural engineer. Kung civil engineer ka man na gustong maging structural engineer, of course, kailangan mong masterin yung structural analysis. Okay, so, mahalaga to kasi ang problema kasi natin pag nag-aaral tayo sa schools, okay, so we have limited time yung mga professors natin. Although, I'm not saying that it's better to watch this kind of videos. Of course, pag nag-aaral ka kasi expected ka na mag-aral din sa sarili mo, ano, maliban pa dun sa uh, tinuturo sa'yo ng professor mo. Kasi sabi ko nga sa inyo, limited ang time nila. So, it's gonna be really hard for them to like compress all the details. Okay, so ako kasi may time ako and gusto ko maintindihan natin lahat in-depth yung ating pinag-uusapan. Okay, so wala nang paligoy-ligoy pa, mag-start na tayo. Introduction to structural analysis. Next slide. So, let's discuss first yung ating contents, ano. So, dito sa ating video, we are going to discuss the definition of structural analysis and engineering. So, dalawa yan, structural analysis tapos structural engineering. Pinagsama ko lang dun sa number 1. And then number 2, phases of a typical engineering project. So, marami sa atin nung gustong-gustong mag-design. Okay, so gusto natin i-practice. Marami tayong gustong gawin as a civil engineer pero hindi natin magawa kasi hindi natin alam. Hindi natin maintindihan kung kailan ginagawa yun. So, phases of a typical engineering project dito, i-discuss natin pagkakasunod-sunod. Okay, from planning hanggang sa marating tayo dun sa construction. So, number 3 is types of structures. So, ito mahalaga din to. Types of structures. So, i-discuss natin mamaya kung ano yung mga types na yan, kung bakit natin kailangan malaman yan. Okay, so, una, pupunta na tayo dun sa definition of structural analysis and engineering. Okay, so, role of structural analysis in structural engineering projects. So, we define the two. So, structural engineering is the science and the art of planning, designing and constructing safe and economical structures that will serve their intended purpose. So, ang problem kasi sa atin, pag nag-aaral tayo, tinitake natin as a whole yung mga sentences, yung mga definition na ganyan. So, dapat hinihimay-himay natin para maintindihan natin. So, science and art of planning. So, imagine mo planning mula sa umpisa bago ka mag-start. So, everything from scratch. You need to have a plan, okay, before you take action. And then, designing. Of course, yung planning para yun dun sa structure ng tatayo. Designing, dito na papasok yung analysis natin. So, structural analysis and designs. Papasok dyan. So, lahat yan pasok sa structural engineering. And constructing safe and economical structures that will serve their intended purposes. So, itong structural engineering more on importante talaga to sa vertical structures na tinatayo natin. So, yung mga structures kasi na yun, yung mas loaded or mas apektado ng mga lateral and vertical loadings natin and madalas nagkikerry ng maraming buhay. So, kailangan nating protektahan sila by building structures that will stand or that will withstand the loads that are or that is it is intended to carry. Okay, so mga tao, mga equipment, okay, so fixtures and everything, and environmental loads. Okay, so lateral loads, vertical loads, gravity loads, lahat yan. So, yun, pinagsama-sama. Safe, and of course, it needs to be economical. So, when you say economical, it needs to be maximized yung budget, hindi naman sinabi sa yung magtipid ka, as in, uh, tipirin mo para gumamit ka na lang ng mga gamit na substandard. No, we are not saying that. But if you have the knowledge of design and structural analysis, you can get the the maximum. Okay, the maximum, like maximum most economical, or the maximum allowance that you can get when you are designing, when the maximum na pwede mong gamitin. Okay, so halimbawa yung konting bakal but still ductile pa rin yung structure. Okay, so doon pa lang sa structural engineering. As a whole yan, general na yan, okay? Pero napakadami na natin pinag-uusapan. So, structural engineering, more on structures, so vertical structures madalas ang ating pinag-uusapan dito. Okay, so structural analysis is an integral part of any structural engineering project. Is its function being the prediction of performance of the proposed structure. Okay, so structural analysis, ang sabi niya, integral part. Ibig sabihin ng integral is napakalagang part ng structural engineering. Okay, so since we are talking about structures, ito naman structural analysis, yung way natin to predict yung performance ng magiging structure natin. Bakit napakahalaga niyan? Kasi diyan natin na-check yung serviceability. Okay, mga soft stories, mga ganong bagay. Okay? So one example is if you have a structure na okay naman, designed well. Okay, and alam mong hindi babagsak, but your beams are deflected enough for the naked eye to see. Okay, yung makikita siya ng maraming tao. Okay, they will not enter the building. They will not want to work above those structural systems. Okay, so ayaw nilang magtrabaho doon. Okay, so yung building mo okay pa, building mo malakas pa, but it is not more, it isn't anymore serviceable. Okay, so yun yung ibig sabihin ng serviceability, and yan ang isa sa mga performance na kailangan natin i-predict, okay, based on structural analysis. So we are going to discuss those things at the later chapters, of course. Nasa introduction mo lang tayo, and nandito pa lang tayo sa pang ilang page pa lang to. Okay, so next na tayo. Phases of typical engineering project. So ito na yung phases. Meron tayong dito sa right side, an image, okay? Showing yung graph or like chart ng ating typical engineering project, yung phase. Okay, phases na pinagdadaanan niya. Of course, planning phase. Planning phase muna tayo. Okay, so may definition dito sa gilid pero hindi ko nababasahin yan. Isa-isa na natin. So, when you are planning, yung una natin tinitingnan is yung function. Functional requirements of the proposed structures. Or, of course, kailangan nyo i-define why you need to build those structures in order for you to give the best design, okay, intended for those functions. You need to identify those things first and be able to like plan on it. And then the next one is the general layout and dimensions of the structure. Of course, when we say the dimensions of the structure is we are talking about the overall dimensions of it when you look at it in a plan view. Of course, in the boundaries, you need to be able to build those boundaries onto the site. You need to be able to find those intersection points of the lot and boundaries. Of course, the dimensions of the structure in order for you to uh, like foresee how it is gonna be located or it is to be put onto the lot area available. Okay, dun sa ginagawa nating lupa. So, dun sa pinagagawa nating lupa, paano mo siya ilalagay dun? Kasama yung mga architects, engineers, you are gonna plan on how you are gonna do those things. Okay, so of course we need to consider yung possible types of structures. Okay, so we are gonna discuss these types of structures next. So, katulad nga sabi ko, as a civil engineer, yun yung isa sa mga pinaka-skill na dapat natin matutunan as designers if we want to be structural engineers, not just a civil engineer but a structural engineer. We need to learn how to or how to choose from what type of structures that we need to use in order for us to resist the expected loadings that is going to be put onto our structures that we are going to build. Okay, I mean we are going to build. Okay, excuse for the uh, of course the errors in grammars. English is my second language, so I hope that you understand. Of course. Okay, so example natin yan, rigid frame of truss. Okay, so or kailangan din natin yung different types of materials to be used. For example, non-structural steel or reinforced concrete. So we can use concrete or steel for our structures, especially our structural system. Okay, the phase must also involve consideration of non-structural, of course, the aesthetic of the building and environmental impact that it can have to our environment, etc. Of course, and at the end of the planning phase, we are expected to uh, get the outcome of a structural system that meets the functional requirements. Tulad nga natin, nung sinabi ko kung bakit natin ginagawa yung mga to. Okay? Yung bakit natin pinagpaplanuhan yung struktura, dapat may align natin doon. Kung ano man yung design natin, structural system dapat nag-align doon. And it is expected to always be the most economical. Okay? So, hanggat maaari, gamitin natin yung maximum. Okay? Maximum na pwede natin gawin. Of course, maintaining safety. Okay, maintaining safety and quality ng ating structure. It is the most crucial, perhaps, of the entire project and requires experience and knowledge of construction practices. Hindi lang ng ating uh, hindi lang ng ating knowledge pagdating sa behavior of structures or structural analysis and design. Okay, so we're gonna be back on this image onto the right. So I have made a copy of that. Uh, that is being displayed on the full screen uh, of our computer or our cell phone from where you are watching right now. Okay, so we are gonna be back on that. For now, we are gonna talk about the individual phases. Tapos babalik tayo dito sa picture na to. Okay, so the second one is preliminary structural design. Okay, so in the preliminary structural design phase, the sizes of the various members of the structural system selected in the planning phase are estimated based on approximate analysis, past experience, and code requirements. So dito, okay, ang nagpapahirap sa mga designers dun sa mga wannabe designers like me, okay, of course, like us, all of us, is yung pag-assume, okay? Because if you are not that experienced when it comes to construction methods and experiences in design, of course, it's gonna be really hard for you to assume things. So we are learning it, or I mean, we are doing it exactly dito sa preliminary structural design. So may tinatawag tayo ditong preliminary structural design. So ang pinagkaiba kasi ng analysis, kung hindi nyo, kung naalala nyo pa or gets ba ng iba, analysis of beam, for example, analysis of beam is different from design of beam. Okay, so analysis of beam, we often use yung equation, okay? Equation couple method. Kung naalala nyo sa design natin, meron tayong mga video dyan kung gusto nyo mag-review. Okay, couple method tayo sa strength design. So, yung in-equate natin yung 0.85 FC prime, AB is equals to 0.8, is equals to ASFY. Okay, so yun yung couple method. So, that's what we do when we are analyzing. So, we just do those things. Those are enough in order for us to solve problems in beams when we do analysis. So when we do analysis, we are finding the strength of an existing beam. Alright? So pag ginagawa natin yun is may given na tayo na area ng ating steel. Meron tayong given na length, dimensions ng beams natin. Okay, so pinagkaiba ni design kay analysis is wala pa tayong present length. I mean, wala tayong present, meron tayong length pero wala tayong present dimensions wala tayong present na area ng steel na gagamitin. So yun yung mismong hanapin natin. So in order for us to be able to make sense yung mga sciences or yung mga methods natin sa designing, we need to assume these dimensions. Okay? Assume these dimensions in order for us to be able to get those amount of steel that we need in our design. So dito natin ginagawa yan sa preliminary structural design. And of course, yung weight ng ating structure, hindi madalas hindi natin alam yan, ano? So kasama yan sa loading. Hindi naman yan nakukuha lang kung saan-saan. So kailangan natin mag-assume muna bago tayo mag-arrive dun sa final design. So dito ginagawa yan sa preliminary design. Okay, so we do that before we start structural analysis. Okay, so that I mean, doon nasusunod yung ating estimation of loads or yung number 3 natin dun sa phases of construction. Okay, estimation of loads. So pag meron na tayong assumed meron tayong assumed weights and dimensions, then we can proceed with estimation of loads. So kailangan na natin malaman yung mga loading na i-carry ng ating structure in order for us to be able to design enough design or structural system that will carry those loads that we expect for it to carry. Okay, so after we have estimated those loads, we do structural analysis. So ito na sa structural analysis, the values of the loads are used to carry out an analysis of the structure in order to determine the stresses or stress resultants in the members and the deflections of various points of the structures. So once you have estimated yung loads, so by analysis malalaman din natin yung loads that our structure will carry inside. Okay, so pag hinati mo yung structure mo, makikita mo yung loads natin. So way back when we were still studying structural analysis, okay, so we cut our loads. We will see the loads acting on those loadings. So we learn how these loads are traveling on our structure and how they are affecting our structures and how are they being passed on to the next members. Okay, so that's structural analysis. So by doing this, we are able to predict the performance of our building. So we need to pass the structural analysis first in order for us to continue on to the next stages. So part of structural analysis is safety and serviceability checks as well. Okay, so yan, nabanggit ko rin serviceability kanina. So after analysis, it's also like a part of analysis, safety and serviceability. So we do that together with analysis. Okay, so kung gumagamit kayo ng STAAD, after nating mag-analysis, naggagawa talaga tayo ng serviceability check. So, performance and building analysis is a whole kabuuan, okay? Performance and building natin. So, it involves safety and serviceability checks. The results of the analysis are used to determine whether or not the structure satisfies the safety and serviceability requirements of the design codes. Okay, so yun nga, required yung structural analysis in order for us to be able to do these types of checks. These requirements are satisfied in the design drawings and construction specifications are prepared and the construction phase begins. Okay, so meron pa tayong isang phase dito. Number 6, revise structural design. So if the code requirements are not satisfied, then the member sizes are revised and phases 3 through 5 are repeated. Okay, so kung hindi satisfied yung ating design, hindi satisfied yung ating analysis, we go back to number 3 to 5 until we are able to come up with the right dimensions, the right design, the right structural system that will carry our structure. Okay? So next, ito yung picture kanina. So mas malinaw, mas kita. Planning phase, preliminary structural design, estimation of load, structural analysis are the safety and serviceability requirements satisfied. So if it failed, so babalik ka, mag-revise yung structural design, and then you will estimate the loads again, then do structural analysis again until it satisfies the requirements of serviceability and safety. So yes, you are gonna go to construction phase. Okay, so buo na yung plano mo. Okay, so types of structures used for transmitting loads. Ito yung mga structures na sinasabi ko kanina. Okay, so ito yung dapat alam natin ano kung anong gagamitin natin. Pag nalaman na natin kung ano yung types of loads na maaring mag-act doon sa ating structure ni tatay. So we are gonna build our structure using this type of structures. Okay? So yung structure na sinasabi ko kanina is yung kabuuan din. We name this as type of structures as well, or like members as well. Okay, so we can also call it member. Okay, so it's like a smaller type of the structure, a smaller part of the structure. Okay, so used for transmitting our loads. So yun yung base pinakagamit niya, ano. Okay, so first we have here tension structure. So ang wait lang, napuning ako. Ang example natin dyan una, of course, is suspension bridge. Okay, so tension structure natin dyan is yung cable. Kung makikita nyo, cable anchorage. Okay, so kakapit siya dun sa cable anchorage. So, kinikerry niya yung bridge using cables. And then yung merong vertical hangers na nakakonect dun sa cable. Yan yung nagbibigay ng load dun sa cable natin. Okay, so dun sa naka-cave na cable. Ayan. Okay, so nakikita yan sa image, may towers. Okay. So, yung cable na yan is tension structures. Tension structures siya kasi it is subjected to pure tension under the action of external loads. Okay, so external loads pa rin yung nag-a-act sa kanya. Kaso ang pinagkaiba niya sa ibang structure is pure tension talaga yung nag-a-act sa kanya kasi walang balik yan. Okay, so as long as the loads is being applied. So flexible yung ating cable, it is gonna lengthen, it is gonna change in shape, okay, based on the loads. And it is not gonna resist. Okay, so since it's too flexible, there is no counter stress that's happening onto our cable, so it's pure tension. Okay, but since it is still strong, so it is a very ductile material. Okay, so it's good for us to be able to use on this type of structures, okay, that requires a lot of tensile resistance. Okay, so yan, so example natin yan, suspension bridge. So yung pinaka main ano natin yan, structure or system. Structural system is tong ating cable, okay? Nakikita yan sa taas. Okay, so nakapatong siya dun sa mga towers. And then example given nga, ito, nakalagay steel cables used to support bridges and long span roofs. Okay, long span roofs, hindi ko siya na-search. Yep. Long span roofs. How it is being supported by the steel cables. Hindi ko siya na-search pero you can search it on the net. It's just basically applies the same principles, okay? So it is a pure tension structure. It is flexible like I said kanina, ano, nakalagay dyan. It changes in shape as the loads applied changes as well. Okay, so next. So compression structures, okay? Alam na natin 'yan. So most common example is column or arch. Okay, so this is rigid. Okay, this is rigid. So indifferent dun sa I mean in contrary dun sa ginawa dun sa engine structures natin, this is rigid. So matigas siya. Okay? So it may also contain other forms of loadings like shears. Okay, so in bending moments. Okay, but when a straight member, when a straight member like column is subjected to lateral forces and it causes the column to bend or yeah, to bend, of course, that's gonna be called the beam column. So, yun yung beam column. Tinatawag nilang beam column kung hindi mo na naiintindihan. So, kung susumain, titignan mo, halos lahat naman is to be a beam column, of course. Kasi, uh, hindi rin natin masabi kasi what's gonna cause the column to bend if there's a lateral force. I think an enough amount of lateral force is gonna cause a column to be a beam column. Okay, so sample na natin dyan sa columns and arches. And dito sa arches is almost pure compression tayo dyan, ano. Meron man yung mga additional stresses, hindi na masyadong ina-account. Pero kung big enough yung stress na stresses na mga yan maliban sa compression, so you account them for design. So next is trusses. We know this trusses, we use them to on our roofs. Of course, we use them on bridges. We use them on a lot of structures. These are straight members connected at their ends by hinge connections. When we say hinge connections, uh, these are connections uh, that can resist translation, but they are not able to resist rotations. Okay, so yun yung hinge connection. So we are gonna discuss about these connections on to our next videos. If you are interested, of course, uh, turn yung notification bell on para makita nyo, mapanood nyo rin yung mga next videos. Especially yung next video talaga, i-discuss natin tong connections. So, ayan yung character ng hinge connection is it can rotate. Okay, so hindi siya capable of carrying rotations, okay, or moments. Okay, but it is capable of resisting translation. Okay, so it does not translate. When it translate, it does not move on any direction. Okay, so it is a good connection to be used here on our plain truss or on our trusses. Okay, so members elongates or shortens, thus uniform tension or compression type of truss is ideal. Okay, so when applied by loadings, mostly doon naman sa ina-apply yung mga loadings natin ano, doon sa connection. Napansin nyo ba pag meron kang i-apply na ano na loading, nakita niyo yung sa suspension bridge kanina, 'di ba? Let's see, ibalik natin ng konti. No, it's not a trust. Uh, saan ko ba nakita yung ano, image na yun? Naglagay ba ako kanina ng ganun? No, we don't have it yet here, yung bridge natin na may trust. Okay, so we're just gonna be back here. Pero kung makikita nyo to, halimbawa kung kumari ito, one side of truss na lang ng bridge. Yung loads nung magiging slab ng bridge, idadaan nila doon sa mga tinatawag nating I forget what it's called but these types of beams na i-connecta mo rin doon sa connections ng bridges, doon sa intersections ng member ng bridges or doon sa connections. Okay, so doon mo dinadaan, doon madalas dinadaan yung loadings, external loadings na dinadala ng bridge, ng trusses, ano. Okay. So, when applied yung loadings natin dun sa mga parts na yon, it yung mga members niya they either elongate or they either lengthen, I mean shorten or elongate. So, yun nga, kaya ideal yung uniform tension compression type of truss is ideal. So, alam naman natin yan pag lagi ka ng load, pag inahati mo yung trusses natin, madalas ganun talaga nangyayari. If it is tension, if it's going away uh, in a connection, then the other forces are gonna go away onto their connections as well. Okay, mostly ganun ang ating mga trusses. So, it is ideal because uh, para ba i-explain to? Yeah, parang counter kasi siya dun sa ano, parang counter siya dun sa pag-lengthen and elongate ng ating structure ano, when applied. So kung parehong compression, parehong ano, tension yung ano natin, yung acting loading loads acting on ano parang kuma-counter din siya dun sa elongation saka sa ating elongation saka sa ating shortening. Also connected using gasket plates by either bolted or welded connections. So ito yung types of connections ano. So itong halos lahat ng connections natin dito sa ating trusses is talagang dinudugtong natin yan sa mga gasket plates. O yung pinagkaiba nga lang, either welded or either welded or bolted yung ginagamit natin. So pag bolted yan, it is a hinge connection. If it is welded, it's gonna be fixed. Of course, it's not gonna allow rotation, di ba? Pero pag bolted yan, it allows rotation. It is a hinge. Okay, so if it is welded, it's gonna be fixed. So next one is shear structures. So shear structures. Alam natin yan, shear walls. Okay, so shear walls are used to prevent lateral movements, okay? Or lateral loadings, parang support siya doon sa lateral loadings because it can develop in plane. Okay, kung sinabi mong in plane is yung stress niya kaya niya padaanin doon sa plane of parang kung ano yung plane ng mismong shear wall natin, so kaya niyang dalhin doon yung stress. Okay, so dito sa picture natin sa right side, ang shear wall natin itong nasa right side. Okay, so yung load na nakukuha ni shear wall is may transfer mo siya dun sa foundation and then the load transfers to the top of the shear wall. Okay? Instead of this part of the shear wall is gonna experience shear, bending, and everything, it's gonna be resisted by the shear wall. So it's gonna be too rigid to be sheared, okay, or to bend. It's gonna be a pure rigid structure. So para siyang isang buong mas matibay pa siya sa column mo, eh. Mas matibay pa siya sa anumang structural element mo. So it's a piece of wall hanggang taas. Okay, that's purely uh, binuhusan ng semento. Okay? Binuhusan ng konkreto. Of course, we put steels. Okay? We put steel reinforcement as well inside of it. Okay, so and they are being used in multi-story buildings to reduce lateral movements due to wind load and earthquake. So, lateral movements natin dalawa lang yung nagbibigay, wind load and earthquakes. Okay, so alaman yan, basic na yan, alam mo na yan na patutusin, alam mo na yung lateral loads. Pero hindi mo alam na wind load lang pala yun sa lateral earthquake unless maglagay ka ng applied lateral load talaga dun sa mismong building mo. Halimbawa, sandal ka ng anong klaseng bagay doon. Okay, pero kung wala, itong environmental effect lang, which is earthquake or wind loads, yung magkakos ng lateral pressure dun sa ating structure. Okay, so those are shear structures. And those are bending structures. Of course, alam na natin yan, slabs, beams. Totoo hindi naman na kailangan explain ng gaano kasi ito yung parang pinaka-basic ng ating design. Okay, pinaka-basic ng civil engineering is always bending, flexure. So, flexure type members or structures are most commonly known for sa ating profession or sa ating course. But I'm still gonna read this description here. So, develop mainly bending stresses under the action of external loads. Okay, in some structures, of course, not just external loads, gravitational loads or weight. Yan, kasama dyan, nagkukos dyan, hindi lang external loads, ano? So, in some structures, the shear stresses associated changes in bending moments may also be significant and should be considered in their designs. Of course, we put reinforcement because this type of structures experiences shear as well and other stresses. Okay, so some of the most commonly used structures such as beams, rigid frames. Okay, so rigid frames, kasama na pala siya dun sa bending structures. We are gonna discuss a detailed discussion in this rigid frames on to our next video. Okay, so naglagay ako ng ano dyan list ng mga next na i-discuss natin. So, bago tayo matapos sa video. So, end plates can be classified as bending structures. Okay, so understanding the bending structures, a beam is a straight member that is loaded perpendicular to its longitudinal axis. Okay, so thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on. Of course, if you want to know more, nag-i-start pa lang tayo. Introduction pa lang ng structural analysis yan. Kaya binibilisan natin. Okay, so topics for the next video. Okay, these are reasons for you to subscribe and to turn those notifications bell on to uh, keep watching onto our channel is this topics. Okay, so next, what nga sabi ko kanina, rigid frames, analytical models. Okay, so we do this when we analyze. Okay, so pero kung hindi ka nakikinig nung nag-aaral ka, ito na yung time mo para makinig. Okay, so we do analytical models. Walang analytical models, we are not gonna be able to analyze. Okay, so plane versus space structures. What is plane? What is space structures? What are the differences? Okay, and what are the uses? Okay, so land diagram. Alam na natin yan. So, review lang. Okay, connections and supports. Yung nasabi sa'yo kanina, types of connections, hinge, fix. Okay, so dalawa lang yan, hinge, fix. Tapos supports, there are three types. Alam naman natin yan, pero we are gonna discuss more. We are gonna uh, dig deeper onto these topics in order for us to understand more each and every types of this support. So, ayan lang. Natapos na natin yung una nating video. Thank you for watching.